March 14, 1968. Landing Zone Hawk Hill, Quang Tri Province, South Vietnam. Specialist Four Danny Kovacs can feel the heat radiating off the tarmac before he even reaches the Huey. It's 0540, 7 hours, and the morning sun is already brutal, climbing over the distant mountains and turning the airfield into a shimmering haze of fuel vapors and rotor wash. His boots stick slightly to the asphalt with each step. The M60 machine gun slung across his shoulder weighs 23 pounds, but it's the 600 rounds of belted 7.62 mm ammunition draped over his other shoulder that really pulls at him. Sweat is already soaking through his olive drab flight suit. The UH-1 Huey, call sign Ghost Rider 2, 3, sits 15 meters ahead, rotors still. Its olive and brown camouflage paint job faded and chipped from 100 missions before this one. Kovacs knows this bird. He's flown in her 9 times. The tail boom has a patch, welded scar from a .51 caliber round that punched clean through 2 weeks ago. The crew chief, Sergeant Luis Moreno, is already at the starboard side door, running his hand along the mount where Kovacs will lock in the M60. "Morning, Danny." Moreno shouts over the whine of a Huey spooling up 2 pads over. "Sleep good." Kovacs doesn't answer. He never sleeps good. Instead, he heaves the ammo can up into the cabin and climbs in behind it. The interior of the Huey smells like hydraulic fluid, old blood, and canvas. There are still boot prints on the floor from yesterday's mission. Dried mud mixed with something darker near the troop bench. No one scrubbed it out. No one ever does. He clips the M60 onto its bungee, corded mount and tests the swivel. Smooth. Left to right, up and down. His field of fire covers a 180-degree arc. Everything from the Huey's belly to the horizon. There's no armor plating, no bulletproof glass. Just thin aluminum skin between him and whatever's coming up from the jungle. His seat is a canvas strap attached to the bulkhead. His safety line is a monkey harness clipped to the ceiling. If the bird goes down, none of it will matter. Moreno crouches beside him, feeding the ammo belt into the gun's receiver. "We're doing an insert," he says. "First cav. Hot landing zone near Kasan. Intel says probable contact." Kovacs nods. Intel always says probable contact. What it really means is that someone, somewhere in the chain of command, knows there are North Vietnamese army in the area, and they're sending the Huey in anyway. The pilots climb aboard. Aircraft commander is Warrant Officer Carl Becker, a Texan with 4 months in country and a handlebar mustache that somehow survives every briefing with the commanding officer. His co-pilot is a baby-faced second lieutenant named Harris, who arrived in Vietnam 11 days ago. Kovacs has never flown with Harris before. That's not a good sign. New pilots overcorrect. They flinch. They freeze. Becker twists in his seat and gives a thumbs up. "Y'all ready back there?" Moreno slaps the ceiling twice. Kovacs pulls the charging handle on the M60, chambers around, and flips the safety off. His hands are steady. They always are, right up until the shooting starts. The turbine engine roars to life. The rotors begin their slow, heavy chop, building speed until the whole airframe vibrates. The Huey shudders, then lifts. Kovacs feels the skids leave the ground, and suddenly there's nothing but open air beneath his boots. The jungle spreads out below, endless green broken only by the brown scar of the airstrip falling away behind them. They're airborne, and for the next 40 minutes, Danny Kovacs will sit on the edge of a machine made of aluminum and hope, traveling at 120 knots toward a landing zone where people he's never met will try very hard to kill him. He leans out slightly, letting the wind hit his face. The jungle canopy rushes past 50 feet below. Somewhere down there, the war is waiting. The Huey drops lower. Kovacs feels it in his stomach. That sickening lurch as Becker pushes the nose forward and bleeds altitude. Their flying nap of the earth now, skimming treetops weaving between hillsides. It's safer this way. Harder for North Vietnamese Army gunners to track them, but it also means there's no room for error. One wrong move, one gust of wind, and the rotor blades clip a tree. After that, it's just gravity. Kovacs scans the jungle. His eyes move in a rhythm he doesn't think about anymore. Left to right, near to far, canopy to clearings. Every shadow is a potential rifle. Every gap in the foliage could hide a machine gun nest. The M60's barrel points downward at a 45-degree angle, his finger resting just outside the trigger guard. The radio crackles in his headset. Ghost Rider flight, this is Sabre 6 actual. Landing zone is hot. Say again, landing zone is hot. You are cleared to suppress. Kovacs tenses. Hot landing zone. That means the infantry already on the ground is taking fire. That means the door gunners go in shooting. Roger. Sabre 6. Becker responds, his voice calm, almost bored. Ghost Rider 2. 3 inbound. 30 seconds. Moreno catches Kovacs' eye from the other side of the cabin and taps his M60 twice. Ready. Kovacs nods. His pulse is hammering now, adrenaline sharpening everything. The smell of gunpowder residue still clinging to his flight gloves. The vibration of the airframe. The way the light shifts as they bank hard left. And then he sees the landing zone. It's a small clearing hacked out of the jungle, maybe 60 meters across. Smoke grenades are popping purple on the north side, friendly marker. But on the south side, there are muzzle flashes. Dozens of them, winking in and out of the tree line like fireflies. The North Vietnamese army are dug in, and they're ready. Guns free, Becker shouts. Kovacs squeezes the trigger. The M60 roars to life, bucking against his shoulder in a rhythmic pattern. Brass casings spray out the side, tumbling into the slipstream. He walks the tracers into the tree line, red streaks cutting through the air, shredding leaves and bark. He doesn't aim at individual targets. There's no time. He just hoses down the jungle, suppressing, keeping heads down, buying seconds. The jungle fires back. Green tracers, North Vietnamese rounds, arc up toward the Huey. They look slow, almost lazy, like they're drifting. But Kovacs knows that's an illusion. Those rounds are moving at 2,000 feet per second. By the time you see them, they've already missed you. Or they haven't. Something punches through the floor of the cabin between Kovacs' boots. A clean, quarter-sized hole. Then another. Then 3 more. The thin aluminum skin might as well be paper. Rounds snap past his head. So close he feels the pressure wave against his cheek. One tears through the troop, bench 6 inches from his knee. Moreno is firing now too, his M60 hammering away on the opposite side. The noise is overwhelming. Twin machine guns. The Huey's turbine screaming, the beating of the rotors. And underneath it all, the sharp crack of AK-47s and the deeper thump of a heavy machine gun. The Huey flares hard, nose up, bleeding speed. Kovacs leans out farther, firing straight down now as they settle toward the landing zone. He sees movement, figures in green uniforms rushing through the undergrowth. He adjusts, sends a burst into them. Someone falls. Maybe 2. He doesn't wait to confirm. He's already pivoting, firing at the next muzzle flash. And then the Huey shudders. It's not like the small arms hits. Those are sharp, sudden. This is different. A deep, metallic clang that reverberates through the entire airframe. The Huey lurches sideways. Kovacs grabs the cabin frame to keep from being thrown out. "Taking fire! Taking fire!" Harris yells, his voice cracking. "I know, goddammit!" Becker snaps back. Tail rotors hit, still got control. But Kovacs isn't listening. He's watching the jungle, watching the tracers still rising, still coming. The Huey is wounded now. Slower. Predictable. A bigger target. He fires the M60 until the barrel glows, until his hands are numb from the vibration, until the ammo belt runs dry and Marino is already slamming a fresh one into the feed tray. The skids touch down. Infantry, 1st Cavalry troopers, their faces streaked with mud and fear, come sprinting out of the tree line and throw themselves into the cabin. One is missing his helmet. Another is clutching his arm, blood seeping between his fingers. A third collapses onto the floor and doesn't move. "Go! Go! Go!" Someone screams. The Huey pulls pitch. The rotors claw at the air. They're lifting, rising, but too slow. Kovacs keeps firing, pouring rounds into the jungle, and the jungle keeps pouring them back. A round smashes through the plexiglass beside Becker's head. The pilot doesn't flinch. He just pulls harder on the collective, dragging the Huey up and out. 50 feet. 100. 200. And then they're clear, skimming back over the canopy, trailing smoke from somewhere aft. Kovacs releases the trigger. His ears are ringing. His hands are shaking now that it's over. The wounded man on the floor is staring at the ceiling, breathing in short, wet gasps. Moreno is already on him, ripping open a field dressing. Kovacs looks back at the landing zone. It's already gone, swallowed by the jungle. Just another clearing. Just another fight. By the time they land back at Hawk Hill, the dead man's blood has pooled in the low spots of the cabin floor. It'll still be there tomorrow. It'll still be there the day after. Because tomorrow, Kovacs will strap on the M60 again, climb into this same Huey, and do it all over again. By the war's end, door gunners like Danny Kovacs suffered some of the highest casualty rates of any helicopter crew position. Many survived dozens of missions, only to be killed on what was supposed to be a routine flight. The Huey became an icon of the war. But for the men sitting in its open doors, it was never iconic. It was just a flying gamble. Every mission balanced between survival and sudden death. Danny Kovacs survived that day. But what happened on his final mission? And what about the thousands of others who climbed into those Hueys and never climbed out? If you want to hear the stories that never made it into the history books, the forgotten soldiers, the classified missions, the battles erased from memory, subscribe to WW2 Forgotten 45. Because some stories are too important to stay buried. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The next story might be the one that changes everything you thought you knew about war.